Three, two, one, go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Speedy Film Watchers, episode 28. We changed the movie to Dreams because B Hill wanted to, and I normally would just not be up for discussion of this. First, we want to talk about It Chapter 2.
Well, Dreams is a great fucking movie.
Yeah,
Let's just get that out of the way.
Hopefully my mom doesn't ask who
I
I'm
think
talking to.
I think it's Kurosawa's best movie so far.
I think I'd probably go with Ikaru.
Like, let me just discuss what this film is at a base level to begin with the podcast. Yeah, and then we'll discuss it chapter 2. So what this film is a collection of random dreams that Akira had at points in his life. He actually had these dreams. Like, he wrote them down and made them into a movie. So each segment's usually about 10 minutes long, 10, 15 minutes long, depending. And they cover various topics. Some are kind of blurry topics. They don't make sense like some dreams do. And then some are more coherent, like the final segment with the village.
Yeah. I find it funny that the first section is Fox Bunny, but it had no foxes at all.
Yeah, that part was kind of creepy. That whole entire segment was kind of creepy.
I like the parade, though. I thought it was really nice.
Yeah, basically the movie consists of about eight to nine segments. I think it's about 8 to 9 segments.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8.
Yeah, so it comprises of 8 segments, and they're all different genres. Some are apocalyptic. One is kind of weird with Martin Scorsese in it.
Yeah, as Van Gogh.
It's just the whole movie feels like it's a painting that's just moving along as it goes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And my most favorite segment of the movie is the final segment with the village. That's just fantastic, writing and directing.
Yeah, that's really interesting topic about electricity getting in the way of other aspects of life.
And there is a lot of truth to that.
I know some boomers will probably say it's about social media, before social media, but whatever.
Boomers.
Ha! Boomer!
Overall, I'd give the movie a 10 out of 10. If you like psychedelic, almost peaceful, dreamlike movies, you will love this movie to death.
Some questions I want to ask about it. Like the tent in the blizzard, do you think that was a hallucination? Because I was thinking that.
I think it's a metaphor about how if people are pushed to the brink, they'll imagine anything in their mind to survive.
That's a good interpretation.
Actually, I take back my favorite segment. Favorite segment's the tunnel.
Oh yeah, definitely. The tunnel's a really good one.
But we can't really explain each segment because it spoils it. So if you want to watch the movie,
I do put spoiler tags in the description, and these are spoiler-filled discussions.
Yeah. If you want to watch the movie in all of its masterpiece-ness, just get the DVD or whatever. But yeah, that's definitely one of the best movies I've seen in pretty much the last 5 years of my life.
Oh, don't worry, I have a really good one for my coming pick.
Oh yeah, make sure to stay tuned each week because we're trying to revive this podcast.
Yeah, because it's a lot.
So far, it's been.
I think it's a lot of fun to do.
Even if the video is only 5 minutes long, it's fun to discuss these movies because movies as an art form is much different than video games. It's much different than books.
I mean, every art form.
There's a lot to talk about when it comes to movies because everything is interpretation. And with that said, I want to discuss a few things about It Chapter 2. One of which is what I think of the movie. I think
my internet just cut out.
Story, but I feel like the movie has that's what Chapter 1 was missing for me in the long run. Sure, it's a well enough horror movie, but King's stories are much more than horror to me. There's a lot of humanity in his stories, especially his early work, and I think that translated into this movie. And that's why I think the critics are divided on it.
Yeah, people, even on Wikipedia, just outright says people were divided on the faithfulness to the novel. Because
it's about 50% accurate to the novel's events. There's a lot of things in the novel that happens in this, and there's a lot of things that don't. But what's there is King's spirit. If you read the novel and watch chapter 2 back to back, you will literally feel his style leaking into the movie, like the emotional moments and stuff. Like, that's what makes early King books very great, in my opinion, is how he takes characters and he builds houses in your heart with them. Houses in your heart with them. You know what I'm saying? And that's why modern King work and old King work is very noticeably different, because modern King is all this SJW shit that I don't like, and he's lost in translation the magic that made his early works work in my eyes. Like, and that's why I feel It Chapter 2 is the best King movie we've gotten probably since Shawshank Redemption. Like, this movie is so incredibly King, 80s King, and style and spirit. It's incredible to me how, like, Andy Muschietti translated that to this film. Like, he must have been one massive fan of the book to be able to pull it off like this. Like, my God.
I definitely feel like he loves the books. The book. Hopefully Dr. Sleep's good. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, so if you feel like chapter 1 was missing what made his initial story work, you will find home in the second one. I can guarantee you will.
Okay. Well.
Like, it's a much better structured movie. It's a much better written movie. It's a much more emotionally stake movie with all the characters. It has a deserved ending that almost mimics the book. It's a little bit different than the book, but it's about 90% close to the reflection scene at the end. That's taken literally from the book.
Yeah, and to be honest, a funny thing, this movie, like the whole plot structure of having to get an item to beat the big bad guy feels like Endgame, but less of a drag.
But, like, done, like, way fucking better.
Yeah. Well, it's time for Q&A. All right, first question.
Before we get into Q&A, there's one thing I'd like to discuss about It Chapter 2. The ritual of Chud in It Chapter 2 is a little bit different than the book. It's not as epic as the book, so if you expect the book's Chud, you're not really going to get it here. But
still pretty
Chapter
epic.
2's final fight is much better than Chapter 1's final fight. Much more respectful.
Well, mainly because it's
like, my God, like, Chapter 1 had one of the worst final fights I've ever seen in an adaptation.
I mean, it wasn't a real final
Anything.
battle, so
it's so fucked. Yeah, but anyway, Q&A time.
Okay, first question from STFU, who asks, STFU, it's not a question. Next question from Anonymous, when is Afrothon? Happy birthday, by the way. I don't know. Next question from Fat N-word 19. Tell Rachel to hit me up. No,
no,
I don't
thanks.
think I will. Well, anyway, now that that's over, it's time for me to unveil my next pick. So, Biho, have you ever seen Magical Girl?
I have not, but it sounds interesting.
It is. So we'll see.
Can you give me a general plot synopsis?
It's about a dad trying to get the anime girl costume his terminally ill daughter desires.
Oh, okay, this sounds very interesting. I'm looking forward to watching this.
Yeah, it gets... Yeah? Okay.
Well, I guess we can end the podcast with that.
Yeah.
All right, later.
Bye.